Hey guys, it's Runt with you again. I figured I'd go ahead and do another video kind of explaining my thanks to you, the people that subscribe to my channel, the people that leave uplifting and inspiring comments. You guys inspire me to do more and be better even than I already am at what I do. I'm going to go ahead and kind of go through some stuff that people have left on my videos over the last week. Last Wednesday, or Wednesday before last, I should say, Jeff shouted me out. Jeff Fabiano, great guy. I can't thank him enough to give me the exposure to pass a message on that I wanted to give to you guys. And then in return, not only Jeff showing that dedication and belief in my style and who I was and what I could bring to the table, you guys as well. And I'm going to read some comments that have been left on my videos. No particular order. It's just the ones that really kind of grabbed me and meant something. So I want to share with you guys some of those comments and my reaction to them. So first off, we've got Junebugs Journeys, who says, this was my first visit to your videos. Heard of you from Jeff's video, and I loved every minute of it. I enjoy the slower pace, realistic type gameplay. I can definitely say that I'll be watching a lot more of your content. The end of watch tribute on the trunk of your Crown Victoria was amazing. Thank your friend for me for honoring them that way. Thank you for your service to our country as a law enforcement officer too. I'm a full-time firefighter and medic, and I will always have the Brothers in Blues back. Take care. And he's the guy that actually made that skin for me. It just so happens to coincide that the skin on that vehicle is the same skin that the first police department that I ever worked for used when I was with them. They don't currently use it anymore, but I think it was a fitting tribute where he put my unit number on it and let me have part of that vehicle, but the major focus was the names on the trunk and their end of watch. It still hurts me that kind of stuff happens, and I pray for a brighter future. Anyway, I appreciate your comments. I'm glad you like my videos. I'm trying to do everybody the best that I can and represent all of the emergency services the best I can. And anybody that's ever worked in emergency services knows that we'll poke fun at each other every now and then. As a matter of fact, I was talking to an EMS guy on one of the comments on my videos where he was saying something, and I think it was the video where I actually had to take down subjects that had robbed a 24/7, and he had said something about even the EMTs that come into a situation like that, they'd never looked at the officer like the officer was, the officer's going to be torn up. And that's all there is to it. Whenever there's a lethal force incident, they're going to be tore up. Nobody goes to work planning on using their firearm. However, I kind of made fun of him. I told him, it was always great to have the evidence destruction team come in. That was one of our jokes. The ambulance crews, man, anytime they come into a scene, they're gonna do what they got to do their job. But generally, it usually wrecks everything that we're trying to preserve so we can solve crimes. But anyway, that's kind of an homage to those guys. I appreciate you guys and your service. Thank you for enjoying my videos. I'm doing you guys with the limited knowledge. I have very limited knowledge of firefighting and EMS that I try to do you guys justice as well. Anyway, the next one's going to be from David Kehoe. I think the reason we want you to work in the city is because we want to see how you handle it. We all want to see a law enforcement officer playing the madness of GTA. Love your videos. Keep them coming. You're the YouTuber that we've been waiting for on LSPDFR. I'm just a normal guy. I have life experiences that I'm starting to come out of my shell and let you guys see. It's actually as much therapy for me as it is entertainment for you guys, and I appreciate the awesome comments, the awesome support, watching my numbers blow up. And I said it in the last video I did, that it's not about numbers for me. It's about the message, and I want my message to be something that I'm proud of, and something that I hope you guys feel proud of being part of. So I'm just one fish in the pond of LSPDFR. That's the beauty of the game. Everybody can play it the way they want to. I'm trying to play it with the premise of I can teach people from my mistakes, and maybe help somebody keep themselves safer if they ever get into the job in the real world. So going on next is actually 2 comments from the same fella. It says, I watched this after the City Patrol, LSPDFR. I'm also a criminal justice student, and it is educational for me to listen to you and your practical expertise and advice. People make quick judgments about motives or actions of law enforcement too quickly based on what they see on the TV screen. And I know that there are thousands of officers as professional as you are out there today, and that's why I trust that things will get better. P.S. Not always this long-winded on comments. And that's from Nate S. And you know, you pursuing and believing that there are more people out there like me that just aren't as I guess for lack of a better term, open about their experiences. There are others out there, and the more this community kind of gets behind me, and I don't really, that's a poor choice of words, you guys aren't behind me, you're walking right along with me. It's fantastic, and I love it. Thank you very much for your comments. And again, this is Nate S. and it says, hey Runt, really like your LSPDFR playing style. It is very much how I like to play it. I like a slower pace rather than the crazy calls all the time. You have certainly earned my sub. I heard about your channel from Jeff Fabiano, and it's really awesome to see a real-life former police officer play this game. I can't wait to see more. Man, again, thank you very much, and there's more in the pipe, man. Matter of fact, I've already uploaded the next video. I'm in the middle of producing this video. I've got some plans over the weekend that I'm going to try to get done, but it's a matter of scheduling conflicts and trying to get around all that stuff that really is starting to become a logistical nightmare for me, because I am getting more well known in the community, but I'm going to see what I can do about getting you guys just fantastic stuff to watch. Here we have one from Whiz Wheels. Your patrols are great. The ALPR is kind of overkill because almost every vehicle has something, but overall you handle it well. Plus this is probably the closest to Realism patrol calm I've ever seen on LSPD. ALPR to me is a thing of mystery. Never had it, never heard of it until I started getting into LSPFR. ALPR, the way I treat it in the game, I have it running, and I've also got some other comments in my videos where people say that I ignore too much. And the way I think of ALPR is when I was on the road, I remembered going through briefings where, hey, we have an alert, or what we would call a BOLO, on this vehicle, you know, has been stolen from this neighborhood, or this person has robbed a bank in the next state over, or whatever. And it was that kind of stuff that we would always keep our eyes out for. So that's how I treat ALPR. If it's something like an expired driver's license or no insurance or something like that, I'm absolutely going to ignore it, because in my mind I wouldn't have known about that stuff. And I'm still, because I'm not very familiar with ALPR and how it works, like I said, it's kind of smoke and mirrors to me. That is ALPR actual probable cause for a traffic stop? Because when I was working the road, seatbelt tickets were a thing. However, if you saw somebody not wearing their seatbelt, it was not considered probable cause for a stop. You had to wait for them to do something else, and then you could add it as a charge, or add it as a violation after the fact of the actual PC for the stop. So I'm not sure exactly how ALPR fits into that, but I'm kind of treating it as that same thing in my game. And I hope you guys understand that this is a game, and it's going to be the way I see it, the way I imagine it. I hope you guys are seeing my game as just that. It's a game with the possibility of teaching some very valuable life lessons. But anyway, here's one from Han Solo Monkey. I wake up at 11 a.m. usually, and then go to football at 2 and leave at 5, which really gets me down on my day. Then I watch you, and it brightens my day a lot. You remind me of your brother who just got out of the police academy a couple months ago, and it feels like watching my brother when I'm watching you, and if you know what I mean, and keep it up. And buddy, I know I butchered your name a minute ago. I just realized it's Han Solo Money. Anyhow, yeah, see, even I make mistakes. Anyhow, you know, your brother's doing a very admirable job. You're a lucky fella to have him as a brother, and I'm sure he thinks the same of you. It really touches me that you compare me with somebody that's that close to you and your family. It really hits me right in the softies. So move on a little bit. And this is from Block Matrix, and I'm guessing that Block Matrix is a Brit. And I actually did chat with him a little bit in this correspondence, but I'm going to give you guys the kind of the final say on whether I accept the challenge or not. And I do not want to accept the challenge for the monetary reason. As a matter of fact, I would do it and no monetary gain at all, if that's what you guys want to see. And I think it'd be a heck of a challenge for me. But I think, if anything, I'm out of all of the LSPDFR guys out there, there are a few people that come to mind, and I think I'm one of them that could do this. And it says, Block Matrix says, I have a challenge for you, Runt. Do a 10 to 45 minute video as a London Metro PC at night in either a London Metro Audi A4 Estate or a Ford Focus with only an ASP and a taser. No gun, so if I happen to come across a situation where I need with firearms, then I need to call for a SWAT unit or something like that. What's called a firearms unit, I guess, in Britain. With a reasonable use of UK law, penalty points on licenses, knowing what an MOT is, etc. If you accept this challenge, you have until the 7th of September 2016 to do it. And I'm not going to accept the challenge right off. I'm going to leave it up to you guys in the comments in this video. If you think I can do it, let me know. If you think that I can't, let me know. I'm going to leave it up to you guys, the direction that I'm going to take that one. And I thank Block Matrix for bringing that up and giving it to us to go with. Next one is going to be Epic Gaming. Hello, Runt. I wanted to thank you so much for making your videos and doing what you do. I think it's amazing how you want to play a police game after being a police officer for however many years. I hope you keep it up. You have inspired me and a lot of other people. Keep up the amazing work, and best of luck to you. Fantastic. I've never started this to be an inspiration. I just wanted to give people information, and everybody that says that I'm an inspiration to them, it's absolutely amazing. I appreciate it, and you guys are what keep me going. So thanks. I'm running out of ways to say thank you. Anyway, Ryan Fogler, hey Runt, wanted to say your videos are amazing. I love to patrol Sandy Shores and Paleto Bay too in my game. Just curious, how do you handle motorcycle riders with no helmets? It gets really hard to play realistic when every single rider has no helmet. Now, I also, to go back on the ALPR thing, motorcycles with no helmet, generally in areas like Sandy Shores that I kind of think of as a retirement type community, somewhere where you see more golf carts than cars, as I kind of give them a free pass in that area with no helmet. Now, if they get on Seaview Road, which I consider a main thoroughfare, if they get on Joshua Road, which is another, in my opinion, main thoroughfare, or starting at Joshua Road and going south on, I had it and it just left. But anyway, leaving out, going past the airfield, southbound, out of Sandy Shores. Once they get over Joshua Road and get over those railroad tracks there, I consider those main thoroughfares, main kind of state highways. That's where I'm going to bust somebody without a helmet. Other than that, if they're on a dirt trail, if they're, not wearing a helmet isn't the brightest thing you can do as a person, but it's really, other than themselves, I don't see how a helmet is going to affect other people, so I don't say much about it. That's just kind of how I do it, because in the game GTA, it's more common to come across somebody with a problem with their license or their criminal status than it is to ever see somebody walking the straight and narrow, true to life, how I hope quite a few of our citizens here in America actually do it. So I kind of let some stuff slide, depending on location. So next is Joe Polk. I'm an explorer, and I just want to say I level up watching your LSPDFR videos. It's like being on a ride along, and thank you for your service. It's greatly appreciated. And Mr. Polk there, I want to be the first to tell you that you're doing an admirable thing with the explorers. I started in the explorer program in law enforcement, so I know exactly where you're coming from, and it's really what gave me the knowledge that yes, what I was doing was what I wanted to do professionally. Awesome. And man, if there's anything I can ever do for your post, just let me know, and I'll do anything I can within reason. I mean, I would love to go out and meet you guys. I would love to, give you ideas, give you pointers, just sit down and talk with you guys sometime. So anyhow, let's see. And then, let's see. Mr. Prank It Up. This isn't really a compliment, but I felt like it needed to be addressed because a lot of people really don't understand how this works. But Mr. Prank It Up says you should use more backup like in real life for traffic stops, pursuits, and etc. Here's the thing. When you're working as a police officer, you have a very finite amount of resources at your disposal. Take, for instance, at any given time in the first department that I ever worked for, we had about 30,000 people. And during any 12-hour period between like day shift or night shift, we had a maximum of 9 people on the road for our city. Now, that's not taken into account that there may have been a state patrol officer nearby. It's not taken into account that there may have been 2 or 3 county sheriff's deputies. However, if we ever got into a pursuit, we're not going to call everybody and their grandmother because it's going to leave other districts with 0 coverage. So if a supervisor could get there, if a roving unit could get there, if a county unit could get there, absolutely. But in the real world, what you call in real life, is so far apart from what everybody thinks it is in GTA, where you can call an unlimited number of backup until your game crashes. It's not a real thing. So now I will admit that for traffic stops and stuff, I could call a code 2 a lot of the time, but the mechanic to call code 2 backup is just enough strange that I'll cancel a traffic stop on accident while I'm trying to call for these guys to be my backup. And it's very easy to make a mess out of a good situation or a good learning point by trying to call in the other AI deputies that are really kind of trigger happy-ish. So I'm playing it as close to real life as I could. Being that one guy on the road that you, as a police officer, you learn to handle things by yourself. You'll learn to be very self-sufficient. And if you're not, then you're in the wrong profession. So anyway, again, Let's see. This again is from another guy. He loves leaving comments on my videos that are thought-provoking or very, very touchy to me. Hicks 45146. I know you gave me all kinds of love about shouting you out before, but you left another comment that really got a hold of me. It says, yet again another great video. I'm well pleased to hear that kind of members have helped you out with a new graphics card, as it makes your videos even better, and what a kind gesture. And absolutely, I had produced some content that was a little lacking on the graphics side, and I had enough people watch my videos in their choppy state that they were, that a few of them approached me and said, hey, we want to help you out because we know you can be a big thing. And they helped me get a graphics card. I'm not going to tell anybody who they are. I think it would be a disservice to them, because then everybody's going to want a handout. I have plans to, now that things are getting bigger, to actually try to help them out, and if they refuse, then I'm going to try to find other people to help out that strike me in a way that they have content that I believe in, that I can help them get that step that they need to get forward. Anyway, he goes on to say, thanks to all who helped out as well, as we all benefit from it, as well as you, Runt. I really hope that G17 Media Group watch your videos and make some subtle changes to the speech, as well as some other aspects that you bring to the game. They can definitely learn quite a bit of stuff from you. So please keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully in the next installment of LSPDFR they will change and add a few things that you've brought to the game. He's looking forward to my next, however many subscribers, and saying I definitely deserve it. I'm, like I said before, I'm just a normal man. I am a normal man that is approaching this from a very unique perspective. Now G17, I know a few of them have seen my stuff. I would love to consult with them, but this is their product, their creation. Just like mod makers, I've approached mod makers and offered my services as a consultant with my limited knowledge. You got to remember, it's been around 12 years since I was in a car. So I'm going off of kind of antiquated technologies, antiquated techniques for the most part, but still, I think I do a decent job for a video game, and some teaching tools in there. And let's say AJ Deer T680 says, hey Runt, I'm a new sub, and I'm enjoying your videos a lot. Seeing a retired police officer play GTA 5 makes me smile. I love seeing how different you play compared to Code Zero. I love how you're so calm and you don't curse as much as Code Zero. You inspire me and help me become a better officer in LSPDFR. You're a very good person to be in the LSPDFR community. And again, I'm me. And I want to instill the point that you guys are capable, or probably more capable than I am, of changing things. Everybody has their own play style. The Code Zero guys, I get a kick out of it, and it's fun. It's kind of a release, I expect, or imagine, from all of those guys making their own videos, and the pace at which you have to do videos when you start getting to be exponentially bigger than I am at this point. So the language doesn't really offend me, because I've been called much worse. I've heard much worse. But those guys are an inspiration as well, because they're themselves. They've captured magic in a bottle, and it's fantastic that there's all these different people that do this little mod to a game, and it's so successful. And I'm grateful for everybody that watches my stuff. Let's see, Scuderio says, hey, it would be cool if you could make some less realistic LSPDFR episodes, or do different games where you can tell us some stories from your time as an active police officer. The less realistic stuff, I'm probably going to go full Monty and be criminal. I'm actually talking with a few other YouTubers about doing a specific type of GTA 5 online where we are the main entity, and you know, we each have our own personality, and we do things together in the game from a criminal aspect. But a less realistic LSPDFR, I can't do it. It's just, it goes against everything unless I'm going out to do a video of what not to do as a cop. But I think there's enough people out there that kind of hit that nail on the head that I don't need to throw my hat in that ring. Now, stories from when I was an active police officer, man, hop in Discord. I'm full of them. Matter of fact, the first night that Jeff's Discord was up, kind of became known as Story Time with Runt. So hop in there, man. I'm full of them, and usually they're pretty good, make everybody laugh and get a good chuckle. So we have ETO24. Hi, Runt. Was sent here by Jeff. Hearing that you're a retired police officer, I was amazed and looking forward to becoming a Leo. You were an idol towards me. I know almost a quarter of the department by my house, and I'm not going to say it. The officers, I know they're nice people, and I looked up to them as well. He's talking about how his parents don't want him to be in law enforcement. I understand that as a parent myself. I fear for my kids all the time, but coming from the job, it's admirable. It's uplifting. It's not always the bad stuff you hear about in the news. It's being the guy that is the rock, that helps the little girl out of the car that's been wrecked, that holds her and comforts her, and or the little boy, or any of that, and be that beacon in the dark night to people. That's really kind of where it is. And if you have that in your soul, if you have that in your person, then the job would learn a whole lot from you, more than you would ever learn from the job. Let's see, on down, and this is one that kind of got me, and it's going to be the last one I'm doing, because I'm starting to get a little leaky-eyed, as my wife calls it. So this is from DJ Charlie 9. Says, I'm a police officer here for the Jackson Police Department in Mississippi, and brother, you have a new subscriber. Been looking for a long time to see an actual experienced officer play this game. Not taking anything away from Jeff, because he's a really good role player, but you know how to handle situations that we deal with. Hats off to you, brother, and I look forward to seeing more of your videos. And I actually responded to him in text chat as soon as I saw the message. I said, thanks, I can't do the job anymore, but I can pass on my knowledge through LSPDFR. Education is the key, in my opinion, so I'm using the tools I have at my disposal to educate as many people as I can. And he responded back within minutes. Says, right on, brother. My FTO loves you and your videos. And I'm also as I'm on a call, he's in the patrol car watching you. And he laughs and says, stay safe, brother. And realistically, I when people tell me that kind of stuff, I really feel what I said to him in response, and I said that means quite a bit to me. It makes me still feel like I'm doing the job and I'm in the car with you, literally. And he told me anytime, and that I'd be more than welcome. But guys, like I said, if you can dream it, you can do it. The old Army saying, be all you can be, that kind of thing. Everybody can make a difference. It just takes one positive word, and I'll just leave it at that. So till next time, guys, bye now.